Welcome live to the Winged Deer Park here in Johnson City, Tennessee. Ryan Wilkes with you here on the Eagles Sports Network as Carson-Newman looks to move to 3-0 on the weekend, taking on the King Tornado here this afternoon after a 2-0 start yesterday here in Johnson City. A win over Converse 6-5 and a win over Lee's McRae 9-1. Carson-Newman trailed for the majority of the first game, but made a late comeback thanks to a 2-run sixth and a scoreless seventh inning to hold Converse at bay, straining the tying run in scoring position. Then in Game 2, Carson-Newman trailed early 1-0, but scored the next 9 en route to a run rule victory over the Lee's McRae Bobcats. Ready to roll here, King in the red uniforms with the blue lettering and numbering. Carson-Newman in the home whites. It'll be Sienna Cameron to lead things off for the Eagles against Savannah Looper. Looper, the junior out of Salem, Virginia, will face off with Cameron with nobody out here in the first. Cameron stands in from the left side, a lefty-lefty matchup here with nobody out. A lefty slapper out of Alcoa, Tennessee, awaits the first pitch of the day. She squares the bump, pulls back, gets off the plate for ball one. Partly cloudy afternoon or morning here in Johnson City. We'll play 2 today. Carson-Newman takes on King here in Game 1. Barton and the Carson-Newman Eagles will face off for the first time in program history in Game 2. As Cameron awaits a 1-0, she slaps it right side to first. Scooped up, she'll apply the tag to Cameron for out number 1. Sienna Cameron grounds out to the right side, unassisted to first base. And now Hayden Dye will step in from the right side. Dye, the senior out of Knoxville, looking to build on a solid start to her 2025 campaign. As Looper delivers low for ball one. One out for the Eagles, base is empty. Here in the top half, the first, Eagles, the road team for the first time in this trip to Johnson City. As Dye awaits the 1-0, it's off the plate, ball 2. Should warm up here in the early afternoon, about 55 degrees here at first pitch. As the right-handed Dye stands back in, 2 balls and no strikes to Hayden. The pitch home, chopped left side and foul. The count moves 2 balls and a strike. So the Eagles and the Tornado facing off for the 29th time in the series history. The Eagles lead the series 21-7, but King has won the last 2. 2 wins last year, a close one in Game 1, but a run rule victory in Game 2. Dye watches the next pitch a hair high, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Three balls, 1 strike to the Eagles. Now second baseman Hayden Dye. We'll talk about the middle infield shift when the Eagles go out defensively. It's a 3-1 to Dye, cut on a miss down low. Strike 2. Full count to Hayden Dye with Macaulay Bailey awaiting on deck here in the top half of the first. 1 down after Cameron grounded out to first. Talking about the King defensive alignment. In the infield, you got Jardim at first, Warner at second, Bunsick at short as it's grounded right to Bunsick. She comes up throwing and makes the play in time for the second out. It's a 2 up, 2 down for Savannah Looper and the King defense. Here in the top half of the first innings, Macaulay Bailey will get cuts with 2 away. So far, so good for Looper and the King defense as Bunsick makes a play at short. Sweets is at third. And King behind the plate, DeMacus in right, Campbell in center, and Ryan in left for the Tornado. First pitch home to Bailey is off the plate for ball 1, or excuse me, a called strike. And the count, no balls and a strike. Thanks for tagging along here on the Eagles Sports Network. It's been a busy weekend, and that will continue here this afternoon as Carson-Newman wraps up their weekend in Johnson City. The next pitch is off the plate, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. For King in the bottom half of the first, it'll be Jessica Campbell to lead it off. Katie Ryan batting second, Avaya Bunsick batting third for the Tornado. As Bailey awaits the 1-1 offering, it's low in the turf for ball 2. Winged Deer Park, fairly new, opened in 2024. Really nice ballpark out here in Johnson City, Tennessee. As a left-handed looper readies to deal home to Bailey. 2 balls and a strike to count. A 2-1 offering home. Low ball 3. Macaulay Bailey talked about her a lot. She's currently 3rd on the Carson-Newman all-time home run list and is bound to move up this season. She hit that 32nd home run in the series against Concord. And she's just 1 off from tying for 2nd. She takes for a call and strike inside, and the count is 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base is empty for the Eagles' Macaulay Bailey. Looper looking for a 1-2-3, top of the first for the King defense. She deals home the payoff. Bailey swings and misses. Strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for the King defense in the top of the first, and the offense will come to the plate in the bottom half. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back on the Eagle Sports Network for the bottom half of the first. Carson-Newman and King squaring off for the 29th time in the two programs' histories. Lorelei Spradlin will get the start for Carson-Newman. She pitched yesterday in Game 1 against Converse, and she gets a start here in Game 2. The freshman has been used quite frequently, and she'll face off with a dangerous hitting Jessica Campbell, who had 8 RBIs in the 13-2 King win a year ago. And she starts off the bottom half of the first for the Tornado. Campbell stands in from the left side, ready to face the right-handed Spradlin. She takes low for ball 1. Spradlin, the freshman out of Blacksburg, Virginia, awaits the 0-1 or the 1-0. It's low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff Campbell. With the bases empty and nobody out here in the bottom half of the first. Next pitch, a call and strike over the heart of the plate in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Spradlin 3 innings yesterday, allowed 2 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 3, and struck out 3 as well. As she deals a 2-1 in the opposite batter's box. The count moves 3 balls and a strike. For the Eagles, talked about the middle infield switching up a little bit. Hayden Dye now at second. Abby Martin at short, talking to head coach Michael Graves. He thinks that's going to be a situation moving forward as a swing and a miss off the 3-1 offering from Spradlin. The count is full at 3-2. Lorelei Spradlin looking for out number 1 with Katie Ryan awaiting on deck. As a right-handed Spradlin gets the call from Warder behind the dish, deals outside, ball 4. First base runner of the game goes to King. It's Jessica Campbell with a leadoff walk, and that'll bring in Katie Ryan with a runner on first and nobody out. Good appearance for Campbell. Mark the count full. And then saw the final pitch a bit outside, and she's aboard first for Ryan. Spradlin looks at her wrist, deals the first pitch home. It's low. Taking off for second is Campbell, and she'll get in there on the wild pitch from Spradlin. That moves her to second. Good jump from Campbell. That one just got a little bit away from Mortar. It was in the turf And Campbell took off as soon as she saw that and takes second. Runner in scoring position with nobody out for the Tornado. Next pitch home is fouled off right side. Count 1-2. Should be 1-1. To Ryan. She squares the bunt, pulls back. And the count is 2-1. Two balls and a strike to the right-handed Ryan as Spradlin peeks at her wrist with Campbell on second. Fires home high and outside. Gets by Warder. And that allows Campbell to move to third. Two wild pitches in the frame. Puts Campbell one base away from making it a 1-0 game in favor of the Tornado. Pitch out from Spradlin, high, ball 4. And back-to-back walks to start the frame for Lorelei Spradlin, and there's runners at the corners with nobody out for Avaya Bunsick. Warder's going to trot out to chat with Spradlin, as is pitching coach Holly Tucker-Vance. With runners on the corners and nobody out. It'll be Avaya Bunsick to take the cuts for King with the runners on the corners. As Tucker-Vance continues to chat with her freshman. It's been a solid start for Lorelei Spradlin through 3 appearances. She pitched 11 and a third innings, an 8.03 ERA, but she certainly had some highlights, especially that first appearance against Concord where she dealt 4 innings of 1 hit ball, allowing just 1 run. As Ryan will stand in, Bunsick will stand in from the right side with Ryan on first and Campbell on third. No score, but King threatening with nobody out here in the bottom half of the first. Righty-righty matchup between Spradlin and Bunsick as Bunsick takes high for ball 1. No hits yet for either side, but it's been 2 walks here in the bottom half of the first and a pair of wild pitches that have moved Campbell to third and Ryan aboard first. The 1-0. Slap towards shallow right. It's going to drop in fair ground. Scoring easily is Campbell. Going to third is a runner, and now a throw to second. The tag is applied for the first out. But a single that scores a run. For King. And it's 1-0 Tornado. Runner on third now. After the out was recorded. As a first pitch taken low for ball 1 to Tori Ryan. So 1 out for the Eagles. That's Spradlin down a ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss. For strike 1, the count evens at 1-1. So we'll scored a single for Bunsick that scored 1. And then right field to third, back to second for the first out. This one slapped foul. And the count of ball and 2 strikes. Runner on third still for King. It's Katie Ryan that went first to third on the looping single down the right field line off the bat of Avaya Bunsick. As Tori Ryan looks to score 1. At least here with 1 away. Next pitch is up and outside for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Spradlin fires home the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout for Lorelei Spradlin, and there's 2 down. Two away now for Alyssa Sweets, who stands in from the right side. First pitch home from Spradlin is a ball. And the count of ball and no strikes. Next pitch is up and outside, ball 2. Should be 1-1 the count. As Spradlin ready to deal home, the 1-1 is upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. To the 5-hole hitting Alyssa Sweets with a runner on third. And 2 away for the righty Lorelei Spradlin. Next pitch is swing and a miss. Strike 2. That's a count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 away. Next pitch home is high, ball 3. And the count is full. Big pitch up coming from Lorelei Spradlin, looking to limit the damage to 1 here in the first. The pitch is upstairs, ball 4. And that'll put Sweets aboard first. And Ryan stays put, runners at the corners. With 2 down for Rachel Jardum. Big at bat here for Spradlin, looking to keep the score just a 1-run game as the first pitch fouled off. And the count 0-1. Runners at the corners, no balls and a strike to count. Spradlin to Jardum. It's taken on the outside corner, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runners on the corners for the King Tornado after scoring 1 on an RBI single. Pitch home is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout for Spradlin. It's her second, and it strands runners on the corners. But King does get 1 on an RBI single off the bat of Avaya Bunsick. We head to the top of the second. King leads 1-0 here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back for the top of the second, King leads Carson-Newman 1-0 here on the Eagle Sports Network. As Santana Anderson, who had a 2-homer day yesterday, her first 2 home runs in a Carson-Newman uniform, to help the Eagles defeat Converse 6-5. Anderson was your Food City Player of the Game for Game 1. Ryan Wilkes here with you on the Eagle Sports Network as the Eagles look to move to 3-0 on this weekend. The Eagles 5-2 on the season. Opened the season 3-0, dropped to 3-2 with 2 midweek losses to Lee, but have since played pretty well this weekend. Talking to head coach Michael Graves, he was impressed, despite not playing the best there in Game 1, with his team's ability to finish on top as the first pitch to Anderson is taken inside for a ball, and the count of ball and no strikes. It'll be Anderson, Lucero, and Morris for the Eagles due up here in the top of the second. As the looper after a 1-2-3 frame is back out there for King. The 1-0 pitch to Anderson, big cut and a miss on the off speed, and it's a ball and a strike. So I hope you were able to follow along yesterday. We only had live stats rolling, but got your coverage here today for both games between Carson-Newman and King, and then Carson-Newman and Barton, the first all-time meeting. Coming up around 1:30. The 1-1 is an off-speed pitch that catches the outer edge. Nice pitch from Looper, and the count is 1-2. Small sample size, but Looper has seemingly pitched very confident here through the first inning now in this count with Anderson, the 1-2. A called strike 3. Looper paints the outside corner, and Anderson down on strikes for the first out. It's the second strikeout for Savannah Looper and the first out of the second. Here's Brooklyn Lucero stepping in for Carson-Newman. That's the first pitch home to Lucero. It is taken for a ball on the inner part of the plate. They count a ball and no strikes. Sun's starting to peek through here at Winged Deer Park. Temperature's starting to warm. You see some fans down there taking off their sweatshirts and coverings for a nice 60-degree day here in Johnson City. The 1-0 to Lucero, another off-speed pitch that catches the heart of the plate for strike one. Looked like King was a little mixed up behind the plate. Nonetheless, a called strike on the change-up out of the hand of Savannah Looper. As the count 1-1 to Lucero, bases empty, one away for the Eagle offense. Winter Morris awaits on deck. As a 1-1 home is outside, ball 2. And the count moves 2-1. Carson-Newman looking for its first base runner. 0 for 4 so far today. Ground out by Anderson. Another one by Dye. Then back-to-back strikeouts dating back to the top of the first, with Bailey and Anderson going down on strikes. Pitch home to Lucero. Grounded towards third. Scooped up. Throw to first is in time for the second out. So far, all soft contact off the bat of the Eagles as Lucero dribbles out to third. Now Winter Morris steps in with a chance in 2 away. Kennedy Warder on deck. Winter Morris has really had a solid start to her sophomore campaign. Had that grand slam against Concord as first pitch to her. Grounded back up the middle, scooped up. Throw to first is in time for the third out. Bunsick makes the play over to Jardim, and that's back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Savannah Looper and the King defense. We'll head to the home half of the second. King leads 1-0 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back on the Eagles Sports Network, it is Savannah Looper to lead things off for King after back-to-back 1-2-3 frames. The lefty will get some cuts in the batter's box to face off with Lorelei Spradlin. Not a bad first inning from Spradlin, despite the one run. It was the walks that hurt. 3 walks in the first inning, but she did strike out 2, including a big strikeout to strain a runner on third and keep it a 1-0 ball game to end the bottom half of the first. But Looper will lead things off for King here in the home half of the second. Talked a little bit about the Carson-Newman defensive alignment, pretty similar otherwise. We'll talk about that in a moment as the first pitch to Looper is in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. In the outfield, it's Santana Anderson in right, Sienna Cameron in center, Trinity Brooks in left. The only change really is Dye and Martin swapping middle infield spots. The next pitch is a swing and a miss on the heater, and the count is 1-1. Brooklyn Lucero is at first, Macaulay Bailey at the other hot corner at third, and Dye's at second, Martin at short. Talk about that little switch defensively for the Eagles. Otherwise, fairly similar with Kennedy Warder calling the signals. Looper loops this one towards short. Martin makes a nice play, tracking backwards. And that's out number 1. Pop out to short for Looper. That brings Warner to the plate. The base is empty and 1 down. Bradley Warner stepping in from the right side. Readies for the first pitch from Spradlin. Big swing up high. It's going towards Lucero, but it will go foul. And the count 0-1. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to all of you NFL fans out there. Hopefully you're starting your day with me here on the Eagles Sports Network, as the Eagles have 2 to take care of before enjoying that big game at 6:30. As a 0-1 pitch to Spradlin. Warner squares to bunt, pulls back as he pitches high and outside for ball 1. Big week upcoming for Carson-Newman softball. The Eagles will welcome in number 8 North Georgia on Wednesday. Tyler Katz will have your call in game 1. I'll take you through game 2. As the pitch home is found the glove of Warder, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 to Warner with 2 down. DeMacus is on deck. And then the top of the order, and Jessica Campbell in the hole. Next pitch is fouled back. Fight by Warner as the count remains 1 and 2. Big day for the Eagles yesterday. 2 wins on the hardwood. Baseball moves to 7-0 with a win over Trevecca Nazarene. Softball wins 2 games. So you're talking a 5-0 start to the weekend for Carson-Newman Athletics. The Eagles take down Newberry on the hardwood as the 1-2 grounded towards short. Martin scoops, throw to first in time for the second out. Busy half inning for Abby Martin, and she makes the play. 2 up, 2 down for Spradlin and the Carson-Newman defense, as DeMacus will round out the first trip through the King order. The right fielder stepping up with 2 down. King 2-2 on the season. Talk about their start to the year in just a moment. As the first pitch to Mack, as she pops up a bunt to third. Bailey takes care of it for the 3rd out. 1-2-3 inning for Lorelei Spradlin. The Carson-Newman defense will head to the top of the 3rd. Eagles look for their first hit and hopefully some runs, trailing 1-0 to King here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back for the top of the 3rd, Carson-Newman's trailing King 1-0 here on the Eagles Sports Network, as Kennedy Warder will step up for Carson-Newman. She had a nice midweek game for the Eagles. 2 home runs against Lee there in game 2, despite the Eagles dropping both those games. It was the big innings that really damaged the Eagles' chances that day. 12-run 6 in game 1 and a 6-run 4th. That was really the lion's share of the offensive production for the Lee Flames en route to that doubleheader sweep over the Eagles. So far, so good today. Again, 1 run in the first for King, but since then, Carson-Newman has really kept King at bay, even though it's only been 1 other inning. Lorelei Spradlin with a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 2nd to get this Eagle offense back to the plate. 15 combined runs over the 2 games for Carson-Newman yesterday. Not a bad day at the office for this Eagle offense as Looper deals home the first pitch to Warder. She clubs it deep to left. Going back is the left fielder, and she'll make the play near the track for the first out. That's Katie Ryan to make the play as Warder flies out to left field for the first out of the 3rd. Here's a speedy Abby Martin stepping to the plate for Carson-Newman with nobody on and 1 down. As Looper delivers home, an off-speed pitch right across the heart of the plate for strike 1. Trinity Brooks is on deck. Then we'll go back to the top for Sienna Cameron. Eagles still looking for that first hit. Looper forcing a lot of soft contact. He struck out 2 as the 0-1 offering is inside. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Nice Carson-Newman showing today down the first baseline. Again, just about an hour and 20 minutes from Jefferson City. Not a bad trip for Carson-Newman. Neither is it for King, the host of this invitational, as a 1-1 pitch to Martin is low and inside, gets away from King. No harm, no foul with nobody aboard. The left-handed looper toes the rubber, takes a look home to King, calling the signals behind the dish. The 2-1 offering is a called strike on the outer edge, and the count evens at 2-2. So far for Savannah Looper, it's been 28 pitches. She has retired all 7 Eagles she's faced, and now in a 2-2 count with the right-handed Abby Martin. As Martin awaits a 2-2 pitch from Looper, she spins and fires. A 2-2 shot back up the middle. That's through for a base hit. First hit of the day for Carson-Newman comes off the bat of Abby Martin. Not a hard hit ball, but she put it where it needed to go, and she's aboard first for Trinity Brooks. Tying run aboard for Carson-Newman here in the top half of the third. 1 away as we'll see a quick visit to the circle for King. First real semi-hard hit ball of the day off the pitch from Savannah Looper on her 29th pitch of the afternoon. And Carson-Newman has a 1-out base runner. Talking about King and their start to the season, 2-2 through 4 games. Been a little less active than the Eagles, who are playing their 8th game of the 2025 campaign. King 2-2 started the season with a win over West Virginia Wesleyan and a 10-3 loss at the hands of Lynn. A win yesterday against Emory and Henry 2-1 in a pitcher's duel, and then a 3-2 loss to UVA-Y. So this King pitching staff is good at putting up some low numbers in the run column for opposing teams. As Brooks, the left-handed slapper, will stand in. A lefty-lefty matchup here with 1 down. Abby Martin aboard first, certainly a stolen base threat as she toes first base. First pitch home to Brooks is slapped right side. Off balance was a second baseman, and that'll move Martin to second. Second consecutive hit for Carson-Newman. It looks like Warner was going to cover the second base bag. Martin taking off on the pitch. And that allows Trinity Brooks to squeak one through the right side and move Abby Martin to second. The tying run in scoring position for the Eagles here in the top half of the third, and back to where you want to be at the top of the order for Sienna Cameron. First real traffic that Loopers had to deal with this afternoon. As Cameron stands in from the left side, squares the bunt, pulls back on a pitch that's outside for ball 1. Ball and no strikes with Brooks on first, Martin on second. The tying run in scoring position here in the top half of the third. As the lefty Looper looks home, fires home the 1-0. It's low. Martin's taking off on the pitch. She's in at third, and Brooks heads to second. We'll say both runners advanced on a pass ball. The catcher King. Good awareness by Carson-Newman's base runners. And a 2-0 count to Sienna Cameron. It's upstairs, ball 3. And the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Two runners in scoring position. The tying and go-ahead run, both in scoring position for Carson-Newman as Cameron squares to bunt again. Pokes one towards the left side and fouls. The count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Hayden Dye on deck. Macaulay Bailey in the hole as Carson-Newman looks to jumpstart things offensively with a prime opportunity to tie or take the lead. Here in the third, pitch home to Cameron is slapped to left center. That ball is going to drop in the gap. Martin will score. Brooks rounding third. She will score. It's a 2 RBI double for Sienna Cameron. The Eagles lead 2-1 here in the third. Nice piece of hitting from Sienna Cameron. And the Eagles break through in the run column to take the 2-1 lead. Here's Hayden Dye with Cameron on second. The first pitch home is a ball downstairs, and the count, ball and no strikes. So Warder led off the inning with a fly out to center, but since then it's been 3 consecutive hits for Carson-Newman to take this 2-1 lead over the King Tornado. As Looper deals home, Dye squares the bump, pulls back. Cameron taking off on the pitch, throw down. She's caught stealing on a good throw from King. Head coach Michael Graves displeased with the call. But Cameron retired 2-5. Still a discussion being had. But for now, that's the second out of the frame. I think Graves thinks she avoided the tag, and he's checking with the home plate umpire. I don't believe anything will change here. Cameron's still standing on third, but a discussion being had. It looked pretty clear that Cameron was out, but head coach Michael Graves clearly displeased with something on that play. His Dye failed to lay down the bunt. Waiting on the official ruling here, and Cameron has been ruled out. So 2 down for the Eagles as Hayden Dye greets Cameron at the plate and slaps her on the helmet before she makes a trek to the Eagles' dugout. A ball and a strike to count to Dye now with 2 away. Carson-Newman's insurance run wiped off the base path, and Dye in a 1-1 count with 2 down, the base is empty. Looper deals home to Dye. She takes low and outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike with the dangerous part of the order awaiting. Again, this 1 through 9, but 1 through 5, especially in the opening weekend, was stellar. 19 of 38, accounted for 19 of the 36 Eagles runs over the opening weekend. This one is lifted deep to center, going back to center fielder, and she makes a play on the run for out number 3. That's Campbell with the over-the-shoulder grab in center on a rope off the bat of Hayden Dye, and that's the third out of the top of the third. Eagles get 2 on the Sienna Cameron 2 RBI double, and Carson-Newman leads as we head to the home half of the third here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Eagles Sports Network, Carson-Newman now leads King 2-1 after 3 hits there in the top half of the third. 3 consecutive hits. It was Abby Martins who started off with a single through the middle infield, and Trinity Brooks slapped one through the right side, and Sienna Cameron brought them both in after the 2 advanced on path balls out of the hand of Savannah Looper. Here's Jessica Campbell. 0 for 0. She walked in her first at-bat, came in to score on the single off the bat of Avaya Buncic. She slaps the first pitch left side of Macaulay Bailey at third, and she snags it on the line for out number 1. Hot corner reactions from Macaulay Bailey on a smoked ball off the bat of Jessica Campbell, and quickly there's 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Lorelei Spradlin, who's tossed 39 pitches so far through 2 innings and a third. And she'll face off with Katie Ryan with 1 down. First pitch home to Ryan, a called strike, and the count 0-1. Bases empty for King, trailing 2-1. After the Eagles put up a 2 spot there in the top half of the third. The right-handed Spradlin gets the call, fires home. Off-speed pitch, catches the outer edge for a called strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 down for Spradlin, the Carson-Newman defense here in the bottom of the third. As the right-handed Spradlin wheels and fires home, it's fouled back, and the count remains 0-2. Avaya Bunsik, who's produced the only run for King so far, is on deck. She did so with a runner in scoring position, was tagged out at second, trying to go first to second on the throw back to the infield. Next pitch from Spradlin is upstairs. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Interesting connection between myself and Lorelei Spradlin. She went to high school right next to where I did my undergrad at Virginia Tech. So cool connection here in the early season between myself and Lorelei. She deals a 1-2. Cut and a miss. Strike 3. Another punch out for Lorelei Spradlin, and there's 2 down. Good stuff so far from the freshman. 3 punch outs for Lorelei Spradlin. As she'll face Avaya Bunsik with 2 down. First pitch home to Bunsik is an off-speed pitch that catches the heart of the plate for strike 1. And the count 0-1 with 2 down. Base is empty for King, looking for the tying run here in the home half of the third. Carson-Newman again, if you're just joining, 2 in the top half of the third. There's the next pitch taken outside. Count evens at 1-1. Bunsik at the plate for the second time, 1-for-1. And Tori Ryan awaits on deck. Next pitch home is a swing and a miss up high. Strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Avaya Bunsik. Spradlin looking for back-to-back punch-outs to end the third. The 1-2. Check swing foul ball off to the right side. And the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. With the bases empty for the King Tornado. In the bottom half of the third, as Spradlin gets a call from Holly Tucker-Vance in the dugout, takes a peek at her wrist, and fires home the 1-2. It's chopped back towards the circle. Spradlin scoops, throws to first in time for the third out. 1-2-3 for Lorelei Spradlin, the Carson-Newman defense. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Eagles lead 2-1 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back on the Eagles Sports Network, Carson-Newman's lead is 1 over King. We're through 3 full innings, 3 quick innings in this ball game between Carson-Newman and King, as Looper back out there for the Tornado. Been a solid start for her, despite giving up the 2 runs on the 2 RBI double by Sienna Cameron. She'll face off with Macaulay Bailey, the heart of the Eagle order, due up here in the 4th. Bailey coming in this weekend, sitting 429 through 5 games. She was SAC Player of the Week after her 8 RBI weekend against Kentucky State and Concord in Carson-Newman's opening battles. And she moved into 3rd all-time on the Carson-Newman all-time home run list. First pitch from Looper is a cut and a miss down low for strike 1. The count, no balls and a strike. It was a pretty smooth sailing first 2 innings for King's Savannah Looper. Ran into a little trouble there in the 3rd. It starts Bailey off with a strike here in the 4th. Next pitch is another off-speed pitch that catches the inner edge for strike 2. Bailey quickly down 0-2 in the count on the bending off-speed pitch at the hand of Savannah Looper. It's Bailey, Anderson, Lucero due up for Carson-Newman. Macaulay Bailey down 0-2. As a lefty, Looper deals home the 0-2. It's off the plate. Ball 1. Didn't miss by much, did Looper, but Bailey watches a pitch in the opposite batter's box. Again, talked a lot about Macaulay Bailey's discipline at the plate so far this year. Head coach Michael Graves has really been impressed with that, and she showed it right there. The 1-2 is in the turf, and the count evens at 2-2. Bailey talking about her discipline at the plate. She said it's really hard as a home run hitter to watch pitches that you might be able to hit, but they also aren't strikes, and she's done a really good job of that this year. As she awaits a 2-2, the offering home is down low once again, ball 3. Bailey's worked the count full to start Carson-Newman's half of the 4th. Struck out in her first at-bat, looking to reach here in her second. The 3-2 home to Macaulay Bailey, down low, ball 4. Really nice at-bat from Macaulay Bailey after trailing 0-2 in the count. She watches 4 straight balls, and she's aboard first for Santana Anderson. Anderson 2 bombs yesterday against Converse. Her first 2 home runs in an Eagle uniform. And she awaits the first offering from Looper. Bailey on first after the leadoff walk. First pitch home to Anderson. Another breaking ball. That's a called strike across the heart of the plate. And the count 0-1. From this angle, those pitches out of the hand of Savannah Looper, you could tell they're hard to reach. She seemingly just pulls the string on her off-speed offerings. As she's up 0-1 on Anderson. Takes a peek at her wrist. Deals home the 0-1. It's off the plate. And the count evens at 1-1. Another interesting connection. Went to school with Savannah Looper's cousin in high school from Salem, Virginia. Also where I'm from. As she readies to deal the 1-1. Bailey on first. Ball and a strike with nobody out. Eagles have an insurance run aboard. The pitch home to Anderson in the turf, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Santana Anderson. As the left-handed Looper gets the call. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Big cut and a miss from Anderson. And the count is 2-2. Third Eagle base runner of this one is Macaulay Bailey, who stands on first. Santana Anderson in a battle here with Looper. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And nobody out. As the lefty deals home the 2-2. Anderson watches it low and inside. Ball 3. Back-to-back full counts to start the 4th. As Anderson works the count full against Looper. Another count that an Eagle power hitter trailed in and then has worked it to a full count. The payoff. Off-speed pitch stays high. Ball 4. Back-to-back free passes for Savannah Looper. And that'll bring in Brooklyn Lucero with an RBI chance. Bailey on second, Anderson on first. As we're going to see a change here. It looks like a pinch runner for Macaulay Bailey. Waiting to see who that is coming out of the Eagle dugout. Looks like from this angle it's Katie Mathena, who's going to actually pinch run. Yeah, for Macaulay Bailey. As Mathena takes over at second. And Lucero will stand in from the right side. So a little bit more speed out there for the Eagles. As the lefty, or the righty Lucero stands in to face off with the left-handed Looper. No balls and a strike to Lucero. She squares the bunt, pulls back. Now Mathena taking off for second, or for third, and Anderson heads to second. It'll be a double steal for Carson-Newman. To put Mathena on third, and Anderson on second. Like a little confusion behind the dish that allowed Anderson and Mathena to move up a base. I believe the count is ball and no strikes to Brooklyn Lucero. Now runners on second and third. And nobody out. Lucero, big RBI chance here with 2 runners aboard. She takes the next pitch down low. Ball 2. And the count quickly 2-0. Excuse me, 1-1. as Lucero waits. This one grounded back up the middle. It's through for a base hit. Scoring easily is Mathena. Anderson will pull up at third, and it's an RBI single for Brooklyn Lucero. Anderson moves to third. Mathena comes in to score. And it's 3-1 Eagles. Winner Morris ready to hit, but we'll see a quick circle visit for the King Tornado as Anderson stands on third. Lucero's aboard at first. Looper will stay in the ball game for giving up the fourth hit of the day to this Eagle offense. As a Winner Morris prepares. Looks like Looper's going to take a couple warm-up pitches. She did take a piece of that ground ball up the middle off the bat of Lucero. It was a pretty hard hit, so just checking in on Looper is the King staff. Looks like Looper will stay in the ball game for the time being. 3-1 Eagles after Brooklyn Lucero's RBI single. So now Winner Morris prepares to hit. Looks like a discussion between Michael Graves and the home plate umpire. Maybe looking at another pinch runner here, waiting to see who comes out of the Eagle dugout. No changes quite yet. Anderson still on third. Lucero still aboard first. Looks like maybe Maury Robbins out to pinch run. We'll check on that here in a second. As Morris takes the first pitch outside, Robbins taking off for second. She's in with a stolen base, and Anderson will come in to score on the throw into the outfield. So it's a stolen base for Maury Robbins. And then Anderson comes home on the throwing error from behind the dish. Want to know to Winner Morris. She takes inside and low for ball two. So Robbins in with a stolen base to second. 2 balls and no strikes to Morris. Now Robbins taking off for third. The throw down again. Not in time. On a pitch that's upstairs. Another stolen base for Maury Robbins. As Morris stands back in, 2 stolen bases for Robbins. As she awaits the pitch, it's chopped left side and foul. 4-1 Carson-Newman. Back-to-back 2 spots for the Eagles in the third and the fourth. As Morris awaits the 3-1 pitch, the offering home. It's outside. She shoots 2-1. Now the count 3-1 to Morris. With Robbins standing on third. Still nobody out for the Eagles. Here in the top of the fourth as Morris awaits the next offering from Looper. She chops it left side to short. Throw home to try and get Robbins is in time. So Morris reaches on a fielder's choice to short. And Robbins is out coming home. So Morris aboard first now for Kennedy Warder. Eagles have a run wiped off the board. Robbins caught going for home. Not a bad idea to take off with her speed as she takes inside. It's a hit by pitch for Kennedy Warder on the first offering from Savannah Looper. Kennedy Warder's been a bit of a ball magnet this year. That's now, I believe, the second time or third time that Kennedy Warder's been plunked by a pitch. Now waiting to see maybe a change here or a discussion between the home plate and field umpires. Maybe trying to discuss whether or not Warder threw her hands into the ball there. That's what King is asking for. Looked like that pitch was coming in to get Warder, and she acted like she was going to swing, and then it got her on the hand. So not sure what the ruling will be here, but for now, Kennedy Warder is on first with a hit by pitch. Warner Morris is on second. As the discussion continues, but Carson-Newman nonetheless leads 4-1, has 2 runners aboard with 1 away after Mari Robbins caught going for home on a ground ball with about a Winter Morris. Discussion seemingly wraps up. So now both umpires come back to talk to King's coach at the plate. Have to assume this call would remain, but King seemingly unhappy, and now we see here a display from King's coach of Warder checking her hands into the pitch, but it was well inside. I believe it would have gotten Warder regardless. As the coaches continue to discuss, now Michael Graves joining the conversation. And Warder's being asked to come discuss with the home plate umpire. Haven't really seen this before where a ruling goes to talking to a player about what happened on that play. And Warder now showing the umpire her wrist, and that or her elbow. So they're saying it hit her elbow when she checked inside. So the call will stand, it seems. And Warder will stay aboard first, and Morris on second. So a lengthy discussion that went all the way to get Kennedy Warder involved at first. But she is aboard with 1 out for Abby Martin. So we're back to play here at Winged Deer Park. 60 pitches now for Looper, 29 for strikes in her outing. And she deals the first pitch home to Martin. It's low for ball 1. A ball and no strikes with 1 away. Runners on first and second for the Eagles. 4 runs on 4 hits for Carson-Newman. All 4 coming in the last 2 innings of work in the third and the fourth. Both the first and the second were 1-2-3 frames for Looper. She strung a little bit here after as a chopper to third. Force out at third base. Now a throw over to first. I believe it's going to be called a foul ball just to the left of the third base bag. That is the ruling. Smart play over at the hot corner, though, by Sweets to apply the tag and then head over to first. Nonetheless, it will not count. Looked like Martin would have reached safely at first anyway. But nonetheless, count is a ball and a strike. The lefty Looper looks home, gets the call from King behind the dish, and deals a 1-1 home to Martin. It's low, gets away from King a little bit, but not enough to advance Winter Morris, and the count moves 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the order, and Trinity Brooks awaits on deck. And then back to the top for Sheena Cameron, who's 1 for 2 with that 2 RBI double. Her first time at the plate. Get Carson-Newman on board and give the Eagles a lead at the time. There's a 2-1 to Martin, grounded left side, through for a base hit. Morris will pull up at third base as Abby Martin moves the runner station to station on her second hit of the day. Second hit through the left side for Abby Martin. She put the first one back up the middle. As now the bases are loaded for Trinity Brooks. Going to see a change here, I believe. Maybe a pinch runner again for Carson-Newman. It actually looks like Addie Saunders will pinch hit. So Addie Saunders is going to pinch hit for Trinity Brooks here in the 9 hole. Saunders hitting from the left side. Lefty-lefty matchup with 2 down. The freshman out of Radford, Virginia, had the walk-off run rule hit yesterday against Lisa McCray, and she watches the first pitch for a called strike on the outer edge, and count 0-1. No balls and a strike to the true freshman out of Radford. 1 down with the bases juice for Carson-Newman. Next pitch home is outside, And the count is 1-1. Carson-Newman's had some freshmen step up this year. Katie Mathena's been primarily a pinch runner so far. But Lorelei Spradlin has pitched meaningful innings. And now Addie Saunders, a freshman, getting a big pinch hit opportunity here in the fourth. She takes it upstairs, high and away, and the count is 2-1. The lefty looper looks home to King. Calling the signals behind home plate. Deals a 2-1. Saunders back up the middle, right to looper. She'll go to first home for the force out. And Morris is out at home. Saunders will reach on a fielder's choice to the pitcher. Martin advances to second. And Warder to third. Morris out 1-2 at the plate. Now Sienna Cameron back up with the bases loaded and 2 down. Another big RBI opportunity for Cameron. With 2 down. Pitch home is an off-speed pitch that catches the inside corner for strike one. Big batter for Savannah Looper to deal with. A chance for Carson-Newman to kind of break it open. It's a 3-run ball game, 4-1 here in the fourth. But a big opportunity for more. We're seeing the Cameron at the dish. And the base is loaded. The 0-1 pitch home is in the opposite batter's box for ball one. And the count of ball and a strike. Eagles looking to break a 2-game losing streak against Tornado. That went back to last year where King took 2 games in Bristol from Carson-Newman. A 5-4 win in game one and then a 13-2 second game win. As Cameron slaps the left side, through for a base hit. Runner from third will score. Martin rounds third. She will score. Now advancing to third is Saunders. The ball gets away and she's racing home. Another 2 RBI, now 3 RBI hit for Sienna Cameron. And everybody scores. Big piece of hitting. Martin and Warder coming to score, and then Saunders scores on an error. So now we're going to see a change for King. It is 7-1 Eagles, and we'll see a new arm in for the Tornado. We'll talk about her on the other side here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Eagles Sports Network, new arm in for King. It is Sophia Waters to take over in the circle for the Tornado, wearing 15 today. She's 18 on the roster as she enters with Sienna Cameron on second and 2 away for Hayden Dye. Eagles explode for 5 here in the fourth, looking for more with the first pitch to Dye being off the plate for ball one. Pretty wacky sequence there. Cameron doubled to score 2. Addie Saunders was heading for third from first. The throw back from the infield was offline, and the shortstop dealt it short to third as this one is roped to left center. It's in for a base hit. Dye rounding first, and she will pull up at second with a ground rule double that scores Sienna Cameron. and it's 8-1 Eagles. This game quickly approaching run rule territory in the top half of the fourth. And that will close the line on Looper. We'll talk about her in a moment. There's now Bailey back at the dish for Carson-Newman. She takes low for ball one. And the count of ball and no strikes. So Dye on second. An opportunity for Macaulay Bailey to send this into run rule territory. Off of Waters. 8-1 your score. 2 down for Bailey and a runner in scoring position. The pitch home is low and inside. Gets by the catcher, and Dye advances to third on a pass ball to move just one bag away from pushing this game to an 8-run ball game. 2 balls and no strikes to Macaulay Bailey. As she checks, swing it to the right side, and it will drop for a base hit. Macaulay Bailey puts this one into run rule territory with an RBI single, and it's 9-1. Seeing another change for head coach Michael Graves and the Eagles. Here in this half of the inning, as Bailey still aboard first, Anderson at the plate for Carson-Newman. Haven't seen a change quite yet, as Anderson stands in from the right side. First pitch home to Anderson is outside for ball one. The count, a ball and no strikes. Brooklyn Lucero on deck, looking to add to Carson-Newman's big 7-run inning here in the fourth. Talked about the crooked innings being a problem for Carson-Newman so far this year. The Eagles flip the script and have one here in the fourth. Pitch home from Waters to Anderson, upstairs for ball 2. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Bailey on first after the single that puts this game in a run rule territory. Still got to get after 5. So still some time left for King to try and make a comeback as Anderson drills this one to right, going back, and it's gone. Santana Anderson's 3rd home run of the weekend, and it's 11-1. A 9-run fourth for Carson-Newman, and the Eagles continue to pour it on. (11-1) Eagles off Santana Anderson's 3rd home run of the weekend. And Brooklyn Lucero will re-enter to pinch hit. Actually, not to pinch hit. She'll just re-enter. She was pinch ran for by Mari Robbins. And now Lucero back at the plate for Carson-Newman. There's now time called behind the dish. 11-1 Eagles, 9 runs here in the fourth to put Carson-Newman back on top, or extend the lead as the first pitch home from Waters is outside for ball 1. So Carson-Newman has more than put more runs on King than they've had, that they've given up offensively. Actually, gave up 10 to Lynn. Carson-Newman just the second team to eclipse the 10-run mark against the Tornado this season, as the Eagles lead by 10 here in the fourth. 9 runs coming in the fourth inning. Eagles up to 9 hits on the afternoon. Only 1 for King so far, as the right-handed Waters gets the call. Fires home the 1-1. Lucero lifts this one to center. Going back is the center fielder Campbell, and she'll make the play for the 3rd out. But a huge inning for Carson-Newman. 9 runs on 8 hits, and the Eagles lead 11-1. We head to the home half of the fourth here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here on the Eagles Sports Network, Lorelei Spradlin back out there for Carson-Newman. We'll see a pinch hitter for King. As Winge comes in to pinch hit for the Tornado, taking Tori Ryan's spot in the order. It'll be Gianna Winge to pinch hit for King with nobody out. Here in the home half of the fourth, but the Eagles firmly in run rule territory after a 9-run top of the fourth. We'll recap the scoring in just a moment, as the Eagles' defensive alignment remains the same, despite a couple pinch hitters, pinch runners, and whatnot there in the fourth inning. As Winge gets ready to step in from the right side. So the Eagles, despite trailing 1-0 in this one, have scored the last 11, 2 in the third, 9 in the fourth. As Spradlin re-enters the circle, first pitch to Winge is inside for ball one. Sienna Cameron has really impressed in this one. 2 doubles for her. She's cashed in 4 of the Eagles' 11 runs. Santana Anderson homered for the 3rd time this weekend, first time today in that inning as well, as the next pitch is outside, ball 2. King looking to chip away here in the home half of the fourth, and more importantly, get this game back into the territory that it won't end early. Carson-Newman needs 6 outs to secure its second run rule victory of the weekend. And looking good so far. Winge fouls this one off, and the count moves 2 balls and a strike. Again, thanks for joining me this afternoon on the Eagles Sports Network. Glad to take you through all your coverage of Eagles softball here this afternoon. As the pitch home is outside, and the count moves 3-1. Hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday as well. Should be a good game between the Chiefs and the Eagles tonight at 6:30. Looking forward to that. As the count, 3 balls and a strike on the pinch hitting Winge. Spradlin deals home, big swing and a miss up high. Strike 2. Spradlin looking for strikeout number 4. She's in a 3-2 count here with Gianna Winge with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. The payoff. Fouled off behind home plate. And the count remains full at 3-2. Good stuff from Lorelei Spradlin so far. Dealt with a little traffic there in the first, but importantly limited the damage to just 1 and has allowed the Carson-Newman offense to really explode. As the next pitch home to Winge is clubbed out to center. Cameron charging in, dives, and makes the play. Sienna Cameron, full Superman to lay out and make the catch, and there's 1 down. Didn't look like the best jump off the bat for Cameron. A little late of a jump, but she recovered with her speed and makes the play for the first out of the fourth. In steps Alyssa Sweets with 1 away. And the base is empty for the Tornado. First pitch home from Spradlin. Check swing outside. It's called strike on the outer edge. And the count 0-1. What a play by Sienna Cameron in center. Talked a lot to Michael Graves about the importance of having her back with this team. Spradlin slips out of her hand, goes to the backstop, and the count a ball and a strike. So if the result stands, Carson-Newman will move to 6-2 and have the chance to sweep the weekend here in Johnson City, with Barton upcoming shortly after the conclusion of this one. It's been a speedy first game, started at 11, and just over an hour we're here in the fourth. Swing and a miss for strike 2 out of the hand of Spradlin, and the count a ball and 2 strikes. 11-1 your score here on the Eagles Sports Network as Carson-Newman jumps out to this advantage with a 9-run fourth. Next pitch across the heart of the plate, called strike 3. 4 strikeouts for the freshman Lorelei Spradlin, and there's 2 down. See another pinch hitter here for the Tornado. It'll be Hahn to come in and pinch hit with 2 down. The base is empty. First pitch home from Spradlin, a cut and a miss. Down low for strike 1. There's a couple pinch hitters here in this frame. We'll have to reset the defensive alignment for King as Helena Hahn in the batter's box. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Count 0-1 with 2 down. Next pitch home from Spradlin. Another cut and a miss. Strike 2. You see the confidence emanating from Lorelei Spradlin with this 11-1 lead in the fourth. And she's 1 strike away from a 3-up, 3-down bottom half of the fourth inning. The 0-2 offering home. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Lorelei Spradlin in a 1-2-3. Bottom half of the fourth. Eagles offense back to the plate. In the top of the fifth, Carson-Newman leads King 11-1 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Eagles Sports Network, Carson-Newman leads King 1-0, or excuse me, 11-1, on the Eagles Sports Network as the Eagles back to the plate here in the top of the fifth. New arm in the ball game for King. As Walsh enters, Alicia Walsh enters here in the top of the fifth. Eagles look to add to this lead that's already in run rule territory. And a chance for Carson-Newman to add to it with Winter Morris standing in from the right side. Michael Graves heading back to the third base bag to be the third base coach here on the top of the fifth. Again, if you're just joining us, a 9-run fourth has powered Carson-Newman. All runs have come in the third and the fourth, with 2 in the third to take the 2-1 lead and the 9 in the fourth. King is scoreless since the first. Lorelei Spradlin has done excellent since that 1-run first inning. 3 scoreless as Morris skies this one high right side. It will go at a play. And the count 0-1. So Morris back to the plate for Carson-Newman. And the base is empty with nobody out. Walsh takes a peek at her wrist. Fires home the 0-1 pitch. It's upstairs. And the count, a ball and a strike. One and one the count to Morris as the righty fires home outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to the designated player, Winter Morris. Talked about her 6 RBI opening weekend. Had a grand slam, a 2 RBI double. And she's off to a good start here in her sophomore season. The sophomore out of Crozet, Virginia, awaits the 2-1 from Walsh. She fires home. It's fouled back. And the count, 2-2. And the Eagles will need 3 outs in the bottom half of the fifth to secure its second consecutive run rule victory. It would be the 5th of the season. And 6 wins for Carson-Newman. If the result stands, Carson-Newman run ruled all 3 games in the opening weekend. Run ruled 1 yesterday and be 1 today. As the pitch to Morris is high, ball 3. Should be the 5th in the 7 wins for Carson-Newman if the result stands. As Morris awaits the payoff pitch from Walsh, she fires home. Morris grounds it left side to short, scooped up. Throw to first is in time for the first out. So Morris retired as Walsh gets the first out here in the top of the fifth. Kennedy Warder stands back in for her third at-bat. Actually, make it her second. She was hit by a pitch her last time at the plate. As Walsh twirls and deals high, and it gets the backstop for ball 1. Warder 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. She was hit by a pitch. She eventually came in to score as a part of that 11-run fourth inning for Carson-Newman. She awaits the 1-0 offering from Walsh. The pitch home. She takes outside for ball 2. So Walsh, the righty, junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, transferred from Randolph College, making her first appearance this season, it seems. As a 2-0 offering to Warder. Fouled back. Count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Last time at the Vic for Warder, it was a 2-homer day against Lee. Again, it was a loss to the Flames, but Carson-Newman still showed out offensively. I mean, 20 hits, 12 runs between the 2 games. Just the big innings hurt Carson-Newman. But today it's been Carson-Newman using the big inning to jump out 11-1. Next pitch is downstairs for ball 3. And the count 3 balls and a strike to Warder. Bases empty, 1 away for the Eagle offense. Looking to make it even more difficult of a challenge for King in the bottom half of the 5th to keep this game alive. King needs at least 3 to keep it going. As a pitch to Warder, lifted to center. Campbell on her horse, looking over her shoulder, makes the catch and tramples over the fence in left center. What a play for Jessica Campbell. Probably robbed a home run from Kennedy Warder. There's 2 down. Campbell fixing the fence herself out there in left center. A little bit of help from her teammates. But what a catch on the run. SportsCenter top 10 worthy grab from Jessica Campbell in dead center field for the second out. Jolted some energy into the King dugout, who, despite being down 11-1, has still had the energy in this one. And Campbell with a play to maybe energize his King offense when the Tornado come to plate in the bottom half of the 5th. It's Martin with 2 down. The bases are empty for for Carson-Newman, excuse me. And Brooks is on deck for the Eagles. First pitch home from Walsh, inside and low for ball 1. A ball and no strikes to Abby Martin. With 2 down, the bases are empty for Carson-Newman. As a right-handed Walsh gets a call behind the dish from King, fires home the 1-0. It's outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the speedy Abby Martin. The 2-0 pitch home. Outside in the opposite batter's box for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 down. Martin looking to reach and give Carson-Newman a 2-out base runner for Trinity Brooks. It's right-handed Walsh, peeks at her wrist, gets the call. Fires home the 3-0. She takes on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Walsh looking for a 1-2-3 frame to give King a chance in the home half of the 5th inning to keep this game alive. Again, King scoreless since the first as the 3-1 pitch. Inside and low, ball 4. Abby Martin, a 2-out walk. She'll reach first as Trinity Brooks will slap from the left side. With 2 down in the inning. The speedy Martin on first. Brooks in the box as the right-handed Walsh gets the call from King behind the dish. And she deals home the first offering to Brooks. She watches it outside. Actually on the outside corner for a called strike. Just paints the corner for strike 1. And the count, no balls and a strike. Brooks, a left-handed slapper out of Jackson, Tennessee. Big impact player in her freshman season. She's proven to pick up where she left off here in her sophomore campaign. As the right-handed Walsh fires home. It's low. And the count is 1-1. See, Martin, even though she's not stealing, very active on the base pass. Both times King has looked down to first. She hasn't thrown, but Martin has been dancing around off the bag. 4 games started, make it 5. 6 including yesterday for Trinity Brooks. Coming in this weekend, hitting .319 as she slaps it high towards center. Campbell charging in and makes another play on a dive. Jessica Campbell with 2 highlight reel grabs in center. And the Eagles go down scoreless in the top of the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th where the Tornado look to keep things alive. Need 3 to keep this one alive here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here on the Eagle Sports Network, bottom half of the 5th for King, looking to keep things alive here on the Eagle Sports Network. It will be Walsh to get some cuts. As a couple defensive changes for Carson-Newman. Lexi Lacey moves to right. Interesting change for the Eagles with Lacey being primarily a pitcher. She moves to right. Sierra Rogers heads to center. Trinity Brooks stays in left. And Bailey Worley catching what Carson-Newman hopes to be the final inning. As Walsh will stand in from the left side to face off with, looks like Lorelei Spradlin still in the circle for Carson-Newman. As the right-hander out of Blacksburg looks for a 5-inning run rule. We'll call it a complete game for Lorelei Spradlin. As Walsh ready to get some cuts with nobody out. Here in the bottom half of the 5th, 11-1 Eagles. Ryan Wilkes with you, taking you through all your coverage today here at Winged Deer Park. As the first pitch to Walsh is inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Walsh, who came into pitch last inning. Now she'll hit as the pitch catches the outer edge. Count evens at a ball and a strike. And shortly after this one, it's gone up quicker than anticipated, especially with both matchups between King and Carson-Newman last year. Carson-Newman within 1 in Game 1, and then King a run rule victory in Game 2. Thought this was going to be a good one, but Carson-Newman with that 9-run 4th has made it 11-1. Looking to repay the favor. The last time the two teams matched up was 13-2 in favor of King, as this one's fouled off. Count remains 1-2. But Carson-Newman has certainly repaid the favor here in this year's matchup between Carson-Newman and King. Two teams will see each other again next weekend in Greenwood, South Carolina for the Bearcat Invitational. The pitch misses upstairs and the count moves 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases emptied. Spradlin up to 63 pitches, but she's been efficient, especially after that first inning where she walked 3 batters. She hasn't walked one since, and she struck out 5. The 2-2 fouled off as Walsh just gets a piece of it. Worley gave it chase and was ready to throw down to first, but Walsh stays alive on a foul tip. And Walsh will see another one. The next 2-2 slapped foul. And a good at bat here from Walsh. She'll see an 8th pitch from Lorelei Spradlin to start off this bottom half of the 5th. Again, the Eagles with 3 outs can earn their second run rule victory of the weekend. 9-1 win in Game 2 against Lees McRae as this one slapped back up the middle. It's a base hit for Walsh. That excites the King dugout, and it's the second hit of the day for King. Pinch hitter, another one for King as she slaps a first pitch foul. It's Adair to come in and pinch hit for the Tornado. And she starts off in a 0-1 hole with Walsh on first. Only the second hit of the afternoon for the Tornado. Spradlin, after giving up that RBI single in the first, has been incredibly efficient. As the next pitch is high, gets by Worley, and will put Walsh on second. Runner in scoring position for King, and a 1-1 count from Spradlin to Adair. The 1-1 inside and low. Ball 2. Shayna Adair getting her first cuts of the afternoon. She's up 2-1 on Lorelei Spradlin. Again, King needs 3 to push this thing further than 5. And a runner in scoring position for the Tornado. The next pitch home is fouled back, and the count 2-2. Spradlin looking to complete 5 full innings of work and give Carson-Newman another win to their tally. Eagles look to move to 6-2. 5-2 coming into today. The next pitch fouled off right side, and another competitive at bat here from King. As this one will go to 6 pitches between Lorelei Spradlin, the pinch hitting Shayna Adair. Adair, the freshman out of Glade Spring, Virginia, graduate of Patrick Henry High School in her freshman season with the Tornado. Waits the next pitch. It's low and in. Ball 3. Spradlin in danger of walking her first Tornado hitter since the first. Be her 4th of the day if she can't find the zone here in a 3-2 count. The payoff home from Spradlin. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 6th strikeout for Lorelei Spradlin. It's a big out, number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Alina Demakis with 1 down. As Spradlin deals home, it's off the plate for ball 1. 1 down, Carson-Newman looking for the final 2 outs here in the 5th. That would give Carson-Newman another run rule victory, this time to be over the King Tornado if Spradlin's able to get the final 2 outs. Next pitch home is a called strike across the heart of the plate, and the count 1-1. Really nice afternoon for Lorelei Spradlin. 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run. She's walked the rig and all in the first, and 6 strikeouts. And she deals a 1-1. It's off the plate and low. Ball 2. "81 pitches for the freshman Spradlin. She's found the zone on 50 of them. Has really been able to force some soft contact and strike out the King hitters at a nice clip. The next pitch is slapped back towards the circle. Spradlin scoops, throws to first in time as the runner does advance to third, but you'll certainly take that on a 1-3 put out. Spradlin to Lucero. That puts Walsh on third, and there's 2 down. Jessica Campbell, who made 2 highlight reel grabs there in the top of the 5th, will have a chance here to extend this inning. Won't have the chance to extend the game. With King would need one more if Campbell were to exit the yard as the pitch is up and in to her for ball 1. 11-1 your score. Carson-Newman needs 1 out for another run rule victory. It'd be back-to-back games where Carson-Newman has won the game in run rule fashion after that 9-1 win over Lees McRae yesterday. The next pitch across the heart of the plate for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Turned out to be a really nice afternoon here in Johnson City, Tennessee. It was cloud cover to start, but since then, clouds have broken up. Some blue sky poking through, sun shining down here at Wing Deer Park. The 1-1 to Campbell is roped to right center. Lacey giving chase. It'll one-hop the fence, and it goes over the fence for a ground rule double. That gets King back on the board for the first time since the first, and it's 11-2. Walsh scores from third. As we'll see another pinch hitter here for King with 2 down. It'll be another Campbell coming in. It's Autumn Campbell to pinch hit with 2 down. And the score 11-2. King still needs 2 runs to extend this game to the 6th. And Autumn Campbell is that run at the plate right now. Jessica Campbell on second. First pitch from Spradlin is a called strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Jessica Campbell scorched the Eagles last year at an 8 RBI game. She had 2 home runs. This time around, not the same effect, but still a solid day from her. As a ball taken outside by Autumn Campbell. Count moves a ball and a strike. 87 pitches for Spradlin, 54 strikes, as she looks to complete 5 full and give Carson-Newman the 11-2 win. Next pitch is low and in. And they count 2 balls and a strike. Again, stick around. We'll take a brief break. Actually got to move spots to the other side of this complex where Carson-Newman will take on Barton, likely around 1:30. Barton's playing right now, I believe. Not sure the status of that game. As a 2-1 slapped foul. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be the first all-time meeting to tee it up a little bit between Barton and Carson-Newman, so not much to speak of in the series history. 29 meetings now between Carson-Newman and King. Certainly not the same with Barton. 3 teams this week Carson-Newman has a history with, but Barton is the one that the Eagles don't. As a 2-2 home from Spradlin, upstairs and outside. Ball 3. King not making things easy for the Eagles to close things out here in the bottom half of the 5th, but the Eagles still have a little cushion with Campbell standing on second. Spradlin deals a payoff pitch home. Just misses the outer part of the plate. Ball 4. Saw a little hesitation from Autumn Campbell, but she takes first, and Jessica Campbell remains on second. With 2 down. I believe stepping in, it's Avaya Bunsick. She takes the first pitch high for ball 1. So now, the run that would keep the game alive is on first. If Autumn Campbell comes in to score, we will go to the 6th. Carson-Newman will have a chance to get it back in run rule territory, but certainly in terms of saving energy, would like to do it right here. But the pitch is dealt high, and both runners will advance on a wild pitch at the hand of Lorelei Spradlin. As both Campbells advance it back. Autumn stands on second, Jessica on third, and they count 2 balls and no strikes to Bunsick. Next pitch is inside, ball 3. And the count 3 balls and no strikes. So King threatening to lengthen this ball game as the Carson-Newman infield and Bailey Worley behind the plate will go to chat with Lorelei Spradlin, who trails this count 3 balls and no strikes. With Winge standing on deck. As the conference seemingly concludes between the Carson-Newman infielders and Bailey Worley behind the dish. And Spradlin will look to work her way back in this count. Big at-bat here. As I mentioned, King can push this game to the 6th with a ball that finds a gap, 2 runners in scoring position. It's an 11-2 ball game as it currently stands, but an opportunity for the Tornado here in the 5th. Next pitch home is high, ball 4, and that loads the bases. Both runners stay put. And now Winge will step back up to the dish. Holly Tucker-Vance is going to call time and chat with her pitcher, Lorelei Spradlin. While she does, recap a little action here in this ball game. It's been a busy one for the Carson-Newman offense. 11 runs on 9 hits, 9 of them coming there in the 4th. Brooklyn Lucero started it with an RBI single. Scored Katie Mathena, who was in the pinch run. Mari Robbins came in. She stole 2 bags. And Santana Anderson scored from third on a throwing error by the catcher. Sienna Cameron doubled for the second time this afternoon. Another 2 RBI double. She has 4 on the afternoon. Hayden Dye doubled to left center to score Sienna Cameron. Macaulay Bailey with a single. And then Santana Anderson ripped this thing open with a 2-run home run to make it 11-1. Since then, Kings gotten back on the board to make it 11-2 and an opportunity to extend this ball game. Carson-Newman just needs 1 out, and it's Winge at the dish. But the bases are loaded for King. The right-handed Spradlin takes a peek at her wrist after the conversation with Holly Tucker-Vance. The first pitch home to Winge, fouled back, and the count, no balls and a strike. In a 4-game weekend, Carson-Newman, when it has the opportunity to run rule a team, would really like to do so, especially with another game left to play today. But King looking to stretch this thing out a little bit. 11-2 your score, nothing in 1 count. Spradlin to Winge. Next pitch is up and away, and the count is 1-1. The run on third and Campbell would not extend the game, but Autumn Campbell, who stands on second, would represent the game-extending run, we'll call it, as the 1-1 home. Inside corner, called strike 2. Lorelei Spradlin 1 strike away from giving Carson-Newman a run rule victory here in game 1 of 2. Look home by Spradlin. She deals home the 1-2. It's slapped foul behind the dish. And Winge stays alive. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Spradlin deals a 1-2 offering. Slapped right side, tailing foul. Again, King has not made things easy for Carson-Newman here in the 5th to close things out. Only 1 run here in the bottom half of the 5th. But the bases are juiced. The Eagles need 1 strike, need 1 out to close this thing out in run rule fashion. Count remains 1-2 to Gianna Winge. The 1-2 pitch home. Inside corner, called strike 3. Lorelei Spradlin strands the bases loaded, and Carson-Newman defeats King 11-2 in run rule fashion. Final in 5 innings. A little bit of late game dramatics. King was looking to push it to the 6th, but Carson-Newman and Lorelei Spradlin stopped the threat right there. Eagles win for the 6th time this year. Move to 6-2 on the season. The Eagles will square off with Barton here in just a little bit. We'll talk to you just in a few minutes. Eagles and Barton coming up here on the Eagles Sports Network.